Hey guys, this is Cory with the Showdown Battle League, and I am joined by Carlos, Jack, and Jarrett, and we are going to be doing our Season 4 Week 1 recap. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into it, and start with the first match, which is Dennis of the Wisconsin Whimsicotts versus Jarrett of the Modena Marowaks. And this was a little bit of a controversial battle, just because of the length of time it took. So Jarrett, since you're here, I'm going to let you discuss this match with us.
I guess as I was looking forward to it, I kind of thought I would end up winning. I didn't. But the controversial part about it was that he was also in the middle of a League of Legends match, which was really irritating for anybody that was actually there, and myself and whatever. But it was a 1-0, I lost, but I guess that's all I have to say.
Okay, Jack, Carlos, you guys have any input on this match?
Just sort of like ignoring the chat and all that other stuff, I actually thought this was like a pretty, like, surprisingly good match. Like, it was really back and forth, and I think was one of this week, except I think maybe Brian, Kevin. It just kind of looked like there were some sort of really cool mind games with Spiritomb with, like, Pursuit or Shadow Sneak, like 50-50s. I know, like, early on, Jarrett sort of got him where he stayed in on the Pursuit and swapped out on the Shadow Sneak. So, like, it was just a really back and forth match. You had Calm Mind, Tapu Fini, and, like, we had, like, Physically Defensive Buzzwole. We haven't seen these Pokemon being used before, so to see these sets was pretty cool. And same thing, Nihilego? I don't even know. I can't say his name. But I thought it was just a pretty back and forth match, and I think this is also going to be a rematch later on in the season, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out later on.
Yeah, I was excited to see Dennis's team in action. He drafted a lot of the newer Pokemon, so I think he definitely had the element of surprise there. And we kind of saw that with the bulky Buzzwole. Definitely not something that would be easy to prepare for. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump to one of my favorite matches this week. Joe of the New England Patrats versus Tony of the Columbus Littens. And this match actually had the play of the week in it with the Scarfed Special Ferrothorn, what everyone thought, that ended up being the disguised Zoroark. What do you guys think about this match?
I mean, obviously Zoroark is an amazing Pokemon. You sort of think it's a gimmick at first, like illusion, because everyone knows what it is and you should expect it, but no one ever really does. And Zoroark is a solid Pokemon with a very diverse move pool, and this was shown very well in this match where Zoroark really was able to shine. It obviously was the play of the week, and the coach here was able to really show off its talents and pull out the win with it.
Personally, I thought this match was just fucking hilarious because of the whole Special Ferrothorn thing, and how everyone in the chat was going a little crazy over it. But it was my favorite match. Definitely deserved play of the week.
Yeah, I thought this was a really cool match. Obviously Zoroark putting in so much work. I think this thing is a super underrated pick. But also Magmortar being an NU, getting 3 kills. That did really well. Again, like a match where there's like a lot of new mons we haven't seen before. I thought the Subtoxic Salazzle Venoshock was also pretty cool. There was just like a lot of new, really fun stuff to see in action. So it was a really fun match to watch.
Yeah, this one was actually my vote for match of the week. Especially Tony coming in as a brand new coach with us and being able to pull off the underdog win there. I thought that was really cool. And with that being said, we will move on to potentially the most heartbreaking match of the week, and that's Kevin of the Baltimore Oricorios versus Brian of the Boston Brelooms. And with this match, Kevin really had it in the bag. He was taking names with his Araquanid, and then Brian got a crit and ended it all for him. What are you guys' thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's sort of just like Cory said. This game was sort of in the bag for him, and Araquanid was just dominating this game for a good portion of the match. It's a new Pokemon that a lot of people don't understand, sort of like Buzzwole in the last match, and there wasn't really a way for Brian to take it on when it was getting to the later stages of the match. and the game was finally decided when Magiana, or however you pronounce it, got the crit shadow ball on the Marowak, and basically the game was just over there, and he proceeded to sweep Kevin's team.
Yeah, just watching through this game, there were a lot of really good predictions on Kevin's part. He went for liquidation went on the Aerodactyl switch when I think he was expecting Leech Life, straight up knocked that out. He stayed in when Drapion went for Swords Dance, again, straight up knocked that one out. Like, I think a lot of people in the draft video were like, we're not really sure how Reckon gonna do, and then when this thing got like 4 kills total and just tanked all these moves, it just did so well. But the crit definitely did suck, but it also kind of showed that, you know, Magirna, that thing is deadly, and I think Brian was right when he said it's going to be potentially something that even maybe gets banned next season, because it can definitely put in work when given the opportunity to.
Yeah, definitely showed MVP potential for that one match. I mean, he came from a clear loss to a win with just one Pokemon, basically. So very unfortunate for Kevin, but this is Pokemon, and that's how it goes sometimes. And with that, we will move on to the next match, which is Josh of the London Lycanrocs versus Christian of the Seattle Sylveons. And I think this match was really Josh's attempt to prove all of us wrong on our draft rankings. He did very well. I think that his team performed better than any of us kind of expected it to. And he came in and got the win. What do you guys think on this one?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool coming in with the 5 out of 10 on his fucking draft, and then coming in and having a 5-0 Christian first match of the season. I thought it was really cool seeing that. And Chandelure proving to be a good high round pick.
Yeah, he played Chandelure perfectly throughout the entire game. He knew that late game, the only thing that really switched into a Shadow Ball was Crocodile, and once that thing was down, I think it also got like 5 kills this week. It just did super well for him, and he really showed that, like, even though his team's more offensive, it's not as bulky as some of the other ones, he can play aggressive, he can use his walls when he needs to, and he can identify his win condition and just punch holes to that late game to get a pretty solid win. I think he really showed that he's going to be an underestimated person in this league. I think he's going to be kind of an underdog going forward.
Yeah, and when it came to this match, as well as he did, I think when it came to Christian's team, his main problem was that he didn't really have an answer to Chandelure, like they were saying. Once Crocodile was down, he had nothing he could do, and that was really what this battle came down to.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the more underrated matchups going in, and Josh really kind of proved himself. You know, his first match in the league, and especially with, you know, like I said, an underrated team, really kind of proved all of us wrong week 1. So I think he's going to be definitely a team to watch going forward. Next up, we have Lewis and the Chicago White Sox versus Ryan of the Olympia Beartics. This was a big win for Ryan. Unfortunately, nothing really memorable to me stands out about this match, so I'm going to let you guys kind of discuss this one.
Ryan kind of reminds me of when Noah came in season 1, like partway through, and he just like no one really knew what he would do, but then he came in the end of season 3 and he did really well, getting top 4 overall. And I think he's showing that, like, in the new season when he drafts his own team, he can still do really well. He used Raikou amazingly. He made sure Sticky Webs didn't stay up, and I thought it was really smart the way he prioritized, using the Sturdy on Donphan to ensure Sticky Webs didn't go up. Raikou was used really well. Manaphy was able to clean up late game. I think he just had a really solid game plan going into it, and he did exactly what he needed to do to get a really big win.
Yeah, and really in this match, what Ryan did really well was utilizing Raikou as his win condition. It basically was able to just tear apart Lewis's team. It got rid of Landorus after getting rid of the Yachi Berry, got rid of Celesteela, just got rid of a lot of his threats and just tore down his team, sort of wearing it down. And after that, he sort of just started bolt switching around and sort of just took the W from there.
Pretty much, I think it was just a solid, well-played match from Ryan. That's about it. I don't think that was much more to it.
Yeah, nothing crazy going on in that match. Next up, though, speaking of crazy, we've got Chaebin and the Irvine Igglybuffs against Frank of the Compton Clefables. This was definitely my runner-up for both match and play of the week. the special Wheezing really coming in clutch here, and Frank just outplayed Chaebin on every turn, basically. I've never seen Frank play that well before, so it was very nice to see him come in and just kind of clean house with one of the higher tier competitors. What are your guys' thoughts?
With this matchup, it wasn't even like with how well Frank played. It's hard. It wasn't even that dominating of a matchup. So Frank just played really amazing, and it was because of just the insane prep he had. Jack, who was here in the call, can attest to it. He was just prepping just constantly all throughout the week for this match, and it showed in this match. He was just able to do every play right throughout the whole match, and all his Pokemon had the right moves. It was just such a crazy match, and he just dominated the whole battle.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to Frank, because I know he really prepped hard this week. He spent a lot of time doing practice matches, and you kind of see it. Like, I helped him some of these games, and you kind of see his thought process going through the game. He used HP Grass Weezing. He didn't reveal it too early, but he used it at the right time. Then he made the good prediction, the turn right after with Psybeam. He had a bulky Chomp, but he also had the speed investment, outspeed Nidoking. He just had like a really solid team planned out, and he just played like really well throughout the entire game. So massive props to him. I think he's going to be a really strong contender going forward.
Yeah, I think Frank has a really well-drafted team this season. Historically, Frank is normally one of the underdogs in the league, and to see him come in and just completely outplay and dominate Chaebin was pretty cool to see. I really liked that. And
sort of what this battle shows is that if you put in the prep and just the time, it doesn't really matter how good of a team you drafted or how good you are at battling. Just time and prep can win a battle.
Yeah, I mean, it's really about covering anything your opponent can bring, and Frank had an answer for everything Chaebin had. Unfortunate for Chaebin, but good for Frank. That's a good, solid start to the season. And so next we have the official longest battle we've ever had in the SBL. Carlos of the Oklahoma City Electivires, and he was up against Cody of the Zenica Zekroms. And Carlos, I'm gonna let you talk about this match a little bit since you spent almost an hour playing it.
Yeah, so this was definitely one of the most intriguing matches I've ever played. Really what this match came down to was both of us didn't really have an answer to each other's walls. For me, I didn't really have anything to kill Mega Venusaur, and it was hard for me to kill Heatran and Cresselia and even Tornadus T. And for him, it was hard for him to kill my Aggron and Toxapex and Tangrowth, and we were just struggling. It came down to, for most of the match, Toxapex and Venusaur and Heatran just throwing moves at each other until either Toxapex or Mega Venusaur ran out of moves, and eventually it was Venusaur that ran out of moves first, and that's pretty much what decided the battle.
Yeah, this was definitely a stall fest battle. Not a very fast-paced battle, but definitely one that I think kind of kept everyone on the edge of their seat while they were waiting to see whose walls would break down first.
I think Carlos did a good job getting the poison on Cresselia, as well as using Aromatisse to help keep his team healthy, while Cody didn't have the sort of same cleric on his team. I think that was really big, and I think it was kind of I think Electivire could have done really well. The burn wild charge on Toxapex was almost to a KO, and that's half attack. I think if he didn't play so risky with the Scald Burn, he may have had a better chance at breaking some of his walls, but that's just Scald, and I think Carlos played very solid the whole game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Electivire was a huge threat to my team, and I did have to embrace Scald hacks to break down Electivire's threatening presence.
Yeah, to me, I think he kind of just lost once he got the burn on Electivire, because there was no real way of getting rid of Toxapex anymore. So I think that was his downfall. That's when it started all going downhill. But this match was fucking ridiculous in how long it was, and honestly, I think Carlos is going to break the same record again this season.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. This match really proved the importance of having a cleric-type Pokemon in League format. I mean, you know what your opponent's going to bring, so you can prep around it, send out a Will-O-Wisp or get some Scald Burns. It really shows how important it is to have that cleric role, at least one, somewhere on the team. And with that, we're going to move to the official match of the week. Jack of the Toronto Staraptors and Hans of the Nuremberg Ninetales. This one really was just Jack out-predicting everything that Hans could do. So Jack, since you're here, I'll let you speak on this match a little bit.
Yeah, this was an interesting match to prep for. I decided to go for, I actually didn't bring either of my tier 1s this team. I decided to try to use some of my lower tier mons in the first week. Just because he didn't bring Slowbro after all, I felt like between Cobalion and Staraptor, not much switched into Fighting Stab, and I was kind of able to abuse that. Umbreon, every time he brought in, I got a free switch from Cobalion, so that was able to put in a lot of work. Rhydon was able to set up rocks, and my walls didn't really last throughout the entire game, but they did what they needed to do early game so that something like Staraptor can come in late game and clean. I felt like my prep was pretty solid overall, and that's the main reason why I was able to do well.
Yeah, I think when it came to this match, I thought it was really cool how he utilized Porygon. It sort of countered his Umbreon and Volcanion. What's it called? When he copied the Water Absorb, Volcanion can't really do anything after that, and he just sort of made it so throughout this match there wasn't much Hans could do to his team. It just sort of like felt like at every move he was just countering him with his predictions.
Yeah, so definitely an exciting match, and in the draft video we had predicted that Jack was going to be swept by Mega Pinsir week 1, and of course he proved us all wrong on that account.
It was always week 7. Hans can always get his revenge.
Yeah, we got the grudge match rematch coming up. So speaking of going forward, we're going to do some predictions on week 2. There's a couple of high key matches this week. One that I'm particularly excited about seeing is going to be Jack and Carlos. I feel like they each have a different play style. Carlos tends to run slow, bulky teams, and Jack seems to run the more balanced or even more offensive teams. So I think that's going to be a good matchup. Are there any others that this week that you guys are excited to look at?
Ryan and Cody is going to be really cool. Cody may have lost the first week, but I still think he's got a really solid draft, and I think this will be if he can beat Ryan, that would sort of show that he's still going to be a strong contender this season. Obviously, I'm excited to play Carlos. We played pretty much every format since season 2, and they're always great matches. So I think those 2 matches are going to be really cool.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with Jack. It's always interesting to play Jack, and I definitely want to get my revenge for the NU off-season championship match. So I'm definitely excited for that. And like he said, my first week match with Cody, that was definitely a very intense battle, and I think he definitely is looking to get back into the swing of things and get a W in the second week. And after Ryan's dominating week 1 win, I think he would also like to continue with his winning ways. So I think that's definitely a really exciting match. I also think Dennis versus Brian will be a cool match to watch because Brian pulled up that crazy come from behind win, and I think he wants to show that he doesn't need a crit to win a battle. And then Dennis had that great battle with Buzzwole and all of that. I think it'll be cool to see if he can continue that versus Brian.
Also, Frank versus Tony is going to be pretty cool because I think both those two sort of came in as underdogs in the first week, and they both actually got pretty solid wins. So now it's going to be another really cool match to see who can move to 2-0.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say really looking forward to Frank versus Tony because they're both coming off of wins and all that, and I think they're both confident, at least more than they were before. So it'll be nice to see who ends up coming up with a win in that one.
Another one that I'm looking forward to is going to be Jarrett versus Josh. I feel like Jarrett's going to be, they're both new players to the league. Josh is coming off of a big win, and Jarrett is coming off of a very close loss. So I think he's going to have, a lot of payback on his mind for that one. So I think that'll be a really good match as well.
Also, I think every single match is going to be good. I'm really looking forward to these upcoming weeks and see how teams start to do.
Yeah, I mean, really, after week 1, when we were first voting for match of the week, what was it? There were 4 of them were tied for the lead, and we had to re-vote because all of them were so close. And it wasn't just because everyone was voting for themselves; it's because everyone was voting for each other's, and they were just such amazing matches. And I think that trend's going to continue into this next week.
Yeah, I agree. I think the competition is pretty high this season. I feel like sometimes, I believe last season the competition was a little lower than it had been in season 2, but definitely this season we're right back up there with a very high level of play going on. And so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and end this here, and we will see you guys in the week 2 recap.